Bird migration. Children, before we proceed with the lesson, let us quickly discuss the answers for the previous home assignment. First main, answer the following questions. First one, what does bird migration mean? Answer, bird migration refers to the movement of birds from one place to the other, from lowlands to highlands, and from interior to the sea coast. Second question, how do birds identify seasonal changes? The answer is, birds can identify seasonal changes by knowing the length of the day. Third question, why do birds migrate? The answer, birds migrate due to weather conditions, in search of food and nesting places. Second main, make sentences using the given words or phrases. The first word, amazing. The musical fountain at KRS Mysore was simply amazing. Second one, surprise. My parents planned a surprise birthday party for my sister. Third one, opportunity. I got an opportunity to meet my favorite cricket player, Virat Kohli. Fourth one, in search of. Little Sammy went in search of his mother. Children, in case you are not able to write these sentences, you can copy from here into your notebooks. Third main, fill in the blanks with the correct abstract nouns from the brackets. First one, we should always speak the dash. The answer would be truth. One should eat good food to gain dash. The answer is strength. Third one, King Solomon was known for his dash. The answer is wisdom. Fourth one, we should prevent cruelty towards animals. The answer is cruelty. Fifth one, helping the blind to cross the road is an act of kindness. So kindness is the answer here. So if you have a look at the answers, the words truth, strength, wisdom, cruelty, and kindness, these are all the abstract nouns. Fourth main, complete the following using collective nouns. The first one, a dash of bees, a swarm of bees. Second one, a dash of singers, a choir of singers. Third one, a gang of thieves. So gang is the answer. Fourth one, a dash of flowers, a bouquet of flowers. Fifth one, a dash of soldiers, a regiment of soldiers. I hope you are able to do this homework. Now let us proceed. Now let us recapitulate what we studied in our previous class. We studied that birds are a man's and the environment's best friend. So why do we call the bird as a man's or environment's? Because they help man by eating insects, worms and other animals which are harmful to man. So thereby they are not only helping man, but they are also adding benefits to our environment. Now what does the word bird migration mean? Bird migration means movement of birds from one place to another. But why should birds move from one place to another? What is the reason? So birds migrate due to unfavorable climatic conditions, non-availability of food, and sometimes in search of nesting places. Birds are able to know the length of the day and can identify the seasonal changes. So they come to know when days are longer or when they are shorter. Usually during summer the days are longer and during winter they are shorter. So once the bird comes to know the length of the day, they know that the seasons are changing, and thereby there will be either an increase or decrease in temperature. So therefore they start migrating. Now children, let us continue with our lesson. Let us learn new words and their meanings. The first word is instinct. Instinct means pattern of behaving in animals. Let's get an example sentence. It is human instinct to defend ourselves when in trouble. The second word, exception, which means not included or unusual. The example sentence, all children are punctual to school, but there are always exceptions. The third word is nests. Now children, in your textbook also you would observe this small letter V written in the brackets next to the word nests. So what is this V is? It is in the form of a verb. So nests can either be a noun or a verb. So here we are going to learn the meaning for the verb form. So nests means stays or halts. Now children, I'll be reading the paragraph. Please listen carefully. Birds breed in summer, and this is also connected with migration. During this season, birds migrate northward. The change in the length of days and the lack of food tell the bird to migrate to suitable places. The breeding instinct helps them migrate up north. In late summer, many birds fly down south. Sometimes they travel to different continents and return to their nests in their own country in spring. Their ability to find their home is as amazing as their readiness to migrate. Now let us understand what this paragraph is trying to convey us. Generally, birds breed in summer. Breed means reproduce. And to reproduce, they need a favorable climate. So, once the climate starts changing, they also start moving to better places or favorable climate. So, they are able to breed. During summer, they migrate northwards. Now, birds come to know of the length of days. If you have observed, we have longer days in the summer and shorter days in the winter. Sun sets quickly or it becomes dark in winter very early. So by knowing the length of the day, the birds come to know about the seasons and they start migrating. Sometimes the variation in temperatures also tell them that the seasons are changing fast and they start to migrate. Usually, when birds have to reproduce, they start migrating north, and late summer or closer to spring, they move southwards. Sometimes they travel to different continents. So they travel a very long or a huge distance. But do they come back to their own nests in their country again? Or do they stay there they have reached? Yes, they do come back to their own nests in their own country in spring. So isn't it really surprising or amazing? But how do they know their way home then? How do they locate their nest from the other continent back to the country? How do they locate their nests again? Now let us know about it again. I'm reading the next paragraph. Please listen. How do birds find their way home? There is a belief that birds can understand the magnetic fields that surround the earth. These magnetic fields run from from North Pole to South Poles. Perhaps the birds are directed themselves by these lines of force. However, this theory has not been proved. Now let us discuss this paragraph. It is said that birds understand magnetic field that surrounds the earth. Now what do you mean by magnetic field? Imagine earth as a magnet. All of you are familiar with a magnet, isn't it? So imagine that earth is itself a magnet. Now the area surrounding, the region surrounding earth, the magnet earth, is called as the magnetic field. So what is magnetic field? The area around a magnetic material is called as a magnetic field. Now these magnetic fields are like imaginary lines drawn around the earth, and they are running from the North Pole to the South Pole. And it is said that these magnetic fields act like a compass. You would have heard about the mariner's compass, which shows direction when the sailors sail into the sea. The sea is such a huge and vast space, isn't it? So they don't know which direction they are moving. So how do they know the direction? By using the compass. It shows the direction north, south, east, west, which side they are moving or sailing. So same way here, it is said that the magnetic field acts as a compass to show directions to the birds. But it is not completely proved that magnetic fields help the birds to know the directions. So it is just assumed that birds can understand the magnetic fields, and with the help of the magnetic fields they know the directions and locate their places. Now children, read the paragraphs along with me. Birds breed in summer, and this is also connected with migration. During this season, birds migrate northward. The change in the length of days and the lack of food tell the bird to migrate to suitable places. The breeding instinct helps them migrate up north. In late summer, many birds fly down south. Sometimes they travel to different continents and return to their nests in their own country in spring. Their ability to find their home is as amazing as their readiness to migrate. How do birds find their way home? There is a belief that birds can understand the magnetic fields that surround the Earth. These magnetic fields run from north to south poles. Perhaps the birds are directed themselves by these lines of force. However, this theory has not been proved. Now children, here are a few questions from the paragraphs we just read. Try to find the answers. The first question is, in which direction do the birds migrate during summer? The answer is, birds migrate northwards in summer season. What makes the birds to migrate to different places? Answer, the change in length of days and lack of food makes the birds to migrate to different places. Third question, how do birds find their way home? Answer, the birds can understand the magnetic fields that surround the Earth. This helps them to find their way home. Fourth question, find the opposites of the words up, the second word north. The opposite of the word up is down. Opposite of north is south. I hope you are all able to get the answers. Let us continue. Now children, I will read the paragraph. Please listen. Birds migrate for many reasons and may have their instinct to find their way home. They are the champions among all migrating animals. The Arctic terns are the champions among the birds. These travel an average of 22,000 miles a year. During its flight, the tern nests at different places and takes about 20 weeks to make its trip down to the Antarctic region. Its average speed is 1,000 miles a week. Now we already know that birds migrate for various reasons such as food, shelter, nesting places, climatic conditions, etc. And they are able to find their way home also based on their instinct sometimes. What do you mean by instinct? It is a definite pattern of behavior in animals. For example, we say human instinct. What do you mean by human instinct? A definite pattern of behaving. For example, when we are in trouble, or say when we see a huge tiger coming in front of us, what do? We flee from there or we run away, isn't it? So that is human instinct. When there is a danger in front of us, generally we run away from it. So that is human instinct. It is a definite pattern of behavior. Same way, the birds also, they have a set pattern of behaving. So by their instinct, they are able to find their way home. For example, even in our human beings, the tiny babies are able to identify their mother. Very easily they know who their mother is. So it is an instinct. Same way, birds also, by their instinct, find their way home. Birds are said to be champions among all migrating animals. The Arctic terns are the champions among the migrating birds. You can see the picture of Arctic tern here below. So they are the champions among all the migrating birds. So what is special about this bird is it travels an average of 22,000 miles a year. And during its flight, this bird nests at different places. What do you mean by nests? Nests means it halts or it stops at different places. And it takes about 20 weeks to make its trip down to the Antarctic region. So this Arctic tern, it doesn't fly continuously. It makes its stops and it takes 20 weeks. So how many days will 20 weeks be? So it is 140 days. And how many months will it be then? It is roughly around 4.5 months. So it takes around 4.5 months to reach the Antarctic region. Its average speed is 1000 miles a week. How many kilometers is 1 mile? 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. So you can calculate how much or how many meters is 1000 miles then. So the average speed is 1000 miles a week. So this Arctic tern is a tiny bird. In spite of being so tiny, it is capable of flying such a vast distance. Therefore, it is called the champion among migrating birds. Now children, you are going to read along with me. Let us start. Birds migrate for many reasons and may have their instinct to find their way home. They are the champions among all migrating animals. The Arctic terns are the champions among the birds. These travel an average of 22,000 miles a year. During its flight, the tern nests at different places and takes about 20 weeks to make its trip down to the Antarctic region. Its average speed is 1000 miles a week. Now it's time for the questions. Here is your first question. Try to find the answer. Which bird is the champion among the migrating birds? Very easy. The Arctic terns are the champions among the migrating birds. Second question. Identify the proper noun and common noun in the sentence. The Arctic terns are the champions among the birds. So you're going to identify the proper noun and the common noun in this sentence. I hope you're able to identify. The answer is, the proper noun is Arctic tern. The common noun is birds. I hope you are able to do. Now let us practice some grammar. Today we are going to learn about adjectives. You have already learnt adjectives in your lower classes. Let us practice it once again. What is an adjective? Adjective is a word that describes a noun. It tells us how much, how many, or what kind of a person, a place, or a thing is. For example, first sentence, Rima wore a pretty dress. The word pretty is an adjective. It is describing the dress. What kind of a dress? It is a pretty dress. The second sentence, the cake was delicious. So the word delicious is describing the cake. So delicious is the describing word. So it is an adjective. Third sentence, elephant is a strong animal. So which word is describing the elephant? Strong. So therefore, strong becomes the adjective. Fourth sentence, Ramesh stays close to the huge building. So what kind of a building? Huge building. So the word huge is the describing word. It is an adjective. Look at the fifth sentence. Mummy bought me a beautiful sweater. So which is the describing word? What word is describing the sweater? Beautiful. It was a beautiful sweater. So the word beautiful is an adjective. I hope you are clear with the adjectives and you will be able to identify them when given in a sentence. So what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. Children, here are a few question answers. I have provided the answers so you can directly copy in your notebooks. So first main, answer the following questions. First question, how do birds find their way home? Answer, birds can understand the magnetic fields that surround the earth. These magnetic fields run from North Pole to South Pole. Birds direct themselves by these lines of force. Second question, which bird is known as the champion among the migrating birds? Answer, the Arctic tern is known as the champion among the migrating birds. Third question, how are the Arctic terns the champions among migrating birds? Answer, the Arctic terns travel an average of 22,000 miles a year. During its flight, the tern nests at different places and takes about 20 weeks to make its trip down to the Antarctic region. Its average speed is 1,000 miles a week. Home assignment. First main, identify the adjectives in the following sentences. First one, Raju is a smart boy. Second one, Anuj was a brilliant student. Third one, we bought a red car. Fourth one, fox is a clever animal. Fifth one, the stage was decorated with beautiful flowers. Children, you are going to identify the adjectives in the given sentences and write them in your notebooks. Second main, look at the pictures and complete the phrases with adjectives. So what you're going to do here is take a look at the picture and fill up the blank with an adjective or a describing word. First one, a dash table. So what kind of a table do you see there? You can say a wooden table or a big table, a small table. All these are describing words. So similarly, you are going to look at the picture and fill those blanks with the adjectives. See the second one. You can see a rose. So a dash rose. Third one, a dash trunk. Fourth one, a dash stream. Yes, you can draw these pictures in your notebook also. Children, I'll be discussing the answers of the home assignment in the next class. Thank you, children.